wow. Well, this has been a journey. This has been a journey for us, like a journey through from legal troubles to mental health issues, to my own struggles, to your struggles, you sharing your struggles with me. I appreciate you, and thank you for that. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows. My people from recovery to legal trials, hope and unity is what we're speaking about. It's a long way to the promised land. All my people understand that this land is our land. One nation under God, and ain't a thing changed. This ain't that, and ain't this, not the same thing. I'm about to bust a move, this a new groove, kinda like a mission, not the blues brothers. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows. I can feel it, it's a new day. We've got a long way to go. Don't lose faith, don't let the mind games change you. What you see on TV is not always true. You could be anything you want to. I don't know about you, but I am not who I used to be. Not who I used to be. Not who I used to be. No. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows. Good night, good morning to the listeners of the After the Bar shows, from the morning mayhem shows, or the random nighttime shows.
Good morning, everybody. I am Sam, and you are on the Morning Mayhem Show on After the Bars. Oh, boy. I don't even know if I'm really prepared to do this show, so I just want to have an honest conversation with you guys. But before we get started, get into this morning's show on cyberbullying and mob behavior online, I just need to say this plainly. I stand with Lauren Matthias and her family. I've watched the fallout, the whispers, the dogpiling, and the nonstop provocation. Whatever you think about creators or commentary, harassment and stalking are absolutely not content. They're harm. And on this channel, we're about truth, accountability from the beginning, and dignity. That means we don't cheer for pile-ons, we don't weaponize rumors, and we don't cross lines that put people or their families at risk. If you're hurting, I see you always. If you've been targeted, you're not alone. And to those fanning the flames, your words have consequences, and you know who you are. This morning, we're going to talk about how this cycle starts, why it escalates, and how we break it without becoming the very mob we say we oppose. What happens when the crowd turns cruel? When movement for truth starts acting like a mob? Today, we're talking about the cyberbullying and the new kind of street fight that happens online. I've seen good people get destroyed by rumors, group chats, and comment sections that turn into firing squads. Some call it accountability, others call it justice. But if we're honest, most of the time it's pain dressed up as purpose. And on After the Bars, we believe in standing on the truth, not mob justice. Because behind every screen name is a soul. And once you strip away the likes and the hashtags, we're our way back to grace. So this morning, I'm not here to point fingers. I'm here to open eyes. Let's talk about what it really means to stand for something without tearing somebody apart. I hope you guys have been great. I know it's been a while since I've been here. But I just felt like that this was the perfect opportunity to kind of come back online, maybe to get the ball rolling on the morning show. It's been hard financially for me to do that. I've had to do other types of shows that generate an income, because it's been really bad. We've been struggling. And I didn't want to come on every morning and beg for, or, lightweight grift, or what's the term we used to use for the others? What's that term, guys? There's a term for it, or dry begging, or dry something. I can't remember what it is, but I just didn't want to do that. And I felt like whenever I would come on, I felt like I would slip into that, because it's always on my mind. But I have some solutions that don't involve this show. So I felt like I was able to come on this morning and do a show, especially about a topic that's so serious, and it really is serious. And the people that are taking this topic and this situation with Lauren and her family flippantly, and saying she's getting what she deserves, or wait till you see what I've got on her, and you're leaving her hanging, always saying, wait till we drop this or that. They need to either put up or shut up, and I prefer shut up, because it is ugly. What they're doing is ugly. I watched a ton of TikToks online this morning, and it's so ugly. And they present it just as like, we're just, truth seekers, but they're not saying anything. They're not providing what they're accusing Lauren of. And to be honest, I don't care if they have Lauren saying in a text that she hates the people she says she's fighting for and helping when she does her show. I know that would never ever be the case, but even if it was, it's all taken out of context, because you don't know what she was going through with those families or prosecutors or defense. You don't know what she was going through when those kind of things are said, when she feels like she's safe saying them, when she felt she was safe saying something in a space where she needed to vent, to get it off her chest, to take all the shit that's in her pockets, that's weighing her down, that she feels responsible for, and to just vent. In all the different chapters of my life, I've worked for Paramount Pictures. I've worked for Microsoft. I was a CD counselor for a while. And everything that I've done, the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've been to federal prison and high security prisons where they were unaliving people left and right. The hardest thing I ever had to do was being a counselor. Frozen, because was I frozen for a while, guys? I hope I wasn't. But that was really the hardest job I ever had, was working with addicts. And I remember like going home and just feeling so drained, and like the people who I'm like fighting for their lives for all day, I'm just like, I hated everybody. And it's because I didn't have nowhere to talk. I was supposed to go talk to one of the psychologists or psychiatrists every week. It's something we had to do as therapists, as counselors at this certain psych hospital in Los Angeles. I was supposed to go do that, but I'd always miss my appointment because I had so much other things going on. And you guys know me. It's just who I am. I'm just all over the place. And if people could hear what I was saying outside of the hospitals, outside of those one-on-ones that I had with patients, outside of those groups that I would facilitate with those patients, they would have thought I was a monster. That was many years ago. That was in the late 80s. So it doesn't matter what they have. It's what they're doing. It's what they're doing. And it is what it is. It's bullying. And it's aggravated harassment in some states. It's just super ugly. So I just want to talk about that a little bit, and see what you guys have to say about it. I'm gonna play a little bit of Lauren. She was on DutyRon yesterday. For those of you that don't know, Lauren Matthias from Hidden True Crimes put out a 9-hour live video about what she's been going through, about a certain group of women on TikTok and other platforms that have been constantly harassing her, calling her husband's employer, calling old friends of hers that she knew that they knew that she had issues with, making up lies, saying that her husband didn't have the credentials that he claimed, and which he has, which he absolutely has those credentials. He's actually really respected at UNLV, helping PhD candidates, which I was never able to get far enough to do. I was going to apply for some PhD programs way back in the day, and it was so much. It's so hard. And what he does is he helps PhD candidates. He supervises them. And to be able to do that, you absolutely have a doctorate in philosophy. When I seen what the bullies were saying, I was just like, what is going on? And they come off so sweet and tender and like honest, and that's what makes it even uglier. I could see how people can easily like choose a side, because words do matter, and words and the way that things are presented, they can be you can manipulate people's feelings on a topic or situation one way or another. That's why as commentators or as creators, we have to be careful, unless that's what we are here online to do, is to present an ideology to try to turn people to our way of thinking. Look, I'm a Christian, and I don't think I've always been outspoken about my faith, but I don't think I've ever tried to harvest my subscribers into my ideology or way of thinking, even though I'm called to do that. I'm actually sinning in a way by not doing that. And I pray about that. And I hope that I can just reveal my creator's character in my words and with what I say and with what I do. I hope it shines through like a beacon of light. So we do have to be careful as creators if that's the kind of content we're creating. And I do believe here, especially with the way that this channel has been formed, was been formed by some souls on a life raft from a boat, from a particular boat. And that life raft had ended up on my shores here at After the Bars. And I welcome them with open arms and open heart. And I just love my community, the new followers and the old followers. I just love them to death, and I miss them. And now I'm going to start crying because of my own situation with my community and channel. I miss them dearly, and I appreciate all the support that they give me behind the scenes. And I wish I could be here every day. And maybe someday soon I can be here every day again, doing the show that I love doing, finding out what is clicks for all of us to be, to feel safe, that this has become a safe space again, for us to shine here at After the Bars. So anyways, I'm going to play a little bit of this. It's perfect because I need to go get a bottle of water while I do that. And then when I come back, I'm going to check in with you guys real quick, just to say hi to everybody. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Everything seems really slow right now. So
control. I want to just validate your fears. I want to say that, you know, as a mother, you as a mother, me as a father, and your husband, obviously, Dr. John as a dad, your first, you know, instinct is to protect your family and protect the vulnerable, your son. And you know, I have questions. I have a lot of questions to ask you.
And you're allowed to ask them. Do you want, just to like make it fair, if you ask a question that I don't want to answer, I'll say I don't want to answer it. So I'm a journalist. Like, I can handle questions, ask away. I'm sure a lot of people are curious. Go for it. And I have some questions for you too. As law enforcement, I'll have questions for you too. So I hope this isn't just be a conversation among friends. Yeah. I think there are a couple of things I want to clear up. I think one of the big fair criticisms I've gotten, or questions that I've gotten, maybe not even a criticism, but a question, is I cover criminal cases. I cover people's pain. It is true. I try to do it ethically, but crime is pain. And I cover trials and criminal trials. What is different with mine being live streamed? And I think I want to explain that the reason that civil stalking injunctions are not live streamed would be the same reason, or even reported on, would be the same reason that a child custody battle wouldn't be live streamed, or anything that has to do with really someone trying to escape an abuser, which is coercive control. Right. You know, you've got intimidation, coercive control, things that you can speak to, fears of escalation, fears of people that don't like me finding out, and, you know, it escalating, getting bigger and bigger to where it potentially becomes a more concerning, frightening situation. So the actual idea of a civil stalking injunction being reported on, in my opinion, is just so unethical. I want to point out too, as a journalist, someone with a background, I would never cover such a thing. And on our channel, we would never cover such a thing, just like we wouldn't cover, you know, a child custody battle. So I do want to explain that difference. And yes, though, I also want to humbly say, has it made me rethink even bigger how I'm going to cover crime in the future? Yes, we do try to be victim-centered. We do try to be aware. We do try to be careful. And I will continue to do that at Hidden True Crime, and maybe even become better at it and more empathic. But I do.
I just want to break in real quick. But what she's talking about, and this is just for the people that aren't in the know of this situation, and this isn't even really, it's something she touched on a little bit in her live, which was there was emotional parts, there was a very informative part, but this is what happened, is that she is filing for a restraining order against her stalker. I hate calling her stalker, but that's just what she chooses. So that's what we're just going to call her stalker, just for identifying purposes. But the Law and Crime filed a motion to be able to be there to cover her case. And at first, I think she didn't know why or how, and she might not still. But there's another creator, and I won't mention her name, but her and the stalker were all at a restaurant with Anjanette Levy from Law and Crime. Some police officers came in while Anjanette Levy was there to pull one of the stalker away from the circle. This was at CrimeCon, and just told her, like, look, you have this restraining order, you can't be here. And she knew about the restraining order, so really they should have taken her to jail, but they didn't. They just escorted her out. Do I believe she deserves to be in jail? No, but by law they should have taken her to jail just because of the restraining order, but they didn't. They took her home, or they took her out and just said, you don't have to leave the hotel. But But what I want to say is that Anjanette Levy from Law and Crime was there when that happened. She just seen a creator's, someone from her little group that she was socializing with get taken out by police. And she probably asked, like, what's going on? And so they told her, you know, Lauren from Hidden True Crime had a restraining order on that person. So Lauren's not a small channel. So Anjanette Levy was probably like, what? I need to bring this to my producer. And she probably did. So the producer probably filed for access to her hearings to cover it. That's probably exactly how it happened. It's not a huge mystery at this point. So that's how it happened. So now it's not about the content of the hearing. It's about or the situation of why she's in court. Now it's because it's a limited public figure, if you will. She's not a star, a celebrity, which the people actually have more access, more rights to access to that person's public life and personal life than you would think. She's actually a limited public figure. So there's like a middle ground. It's very confusing and complicated. But that's her situation. And that's what she's talking about right here.
I did want to explain that difference a little bit because that was a big question out there. What's the difference between a criminal trial and what this was? And I, to this day, I'll never understand why they put in a media request and why they never reached out to me to understand more, but whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
One of my questions was going to be, and you beat me to the punch. It's one of on my list, and I have a whole list here. I have a whole notepad. Do you know why law and crime trials got wind, or how they got wind of this civil case? Because like you said, you know, there are high profile civil cases that we heard of them covering. Johnny Depp, you know, some of these other ones, you listed it, you mentioned it in your video that you did, the 9-hour video. You know, other creators that have a lot of drama surrounding them, and their cases where it's a civil case is out there in the news and people are talking about it. The news goes and tries to cover it, gives local coverage to it. But, you know, it just seemed like, for me as a detective, I detected something stunk about this, that it was just weird that Law and Crime all of a sudden was focused in on Lauren Matthias and her civil case that she was in the process of moving forward. And Ed, you agreed with me when we were in the green room talking about this. It just didn't seem right. Can you speak on to that, or would you rather not?
No, I'll be willing. I don't know. So full disclosure, I don't know. To this day, Law and Crime has never reached out to me, ever, not even since. I do know that one creator named Lori Hellis did a live at the same time I was doing a live. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that was happening. And that she stated that she was sitting with my stalker and Anjanette Levy at CrimeCon when police were trying to escort my stalker out. By the way, I want to clarify that night was the night after the photos were taken, because there's some people saying that they were there. There were 2 nights. So the first night she was there, the photos were taken. We were sitting, we'd been there all night, and she was just there with a camera hanging around us in socks. The second night, I'll clarify this too, because people are telling stories. The second night, Aurora PD was very well aware. They actually referred to her as an agitator. They saw the evidence and what was happening. They referred to her as an agitator. They saw that she was in the bar the second night. And, you know, I hadn't been there. I'd been at the Clue Awards celebrating the Delphi victims receiving an award.
Right.
So she, you know, could technically be allowed in the bar as long as she was 500 feet from me. So the Aurora PD actually escorted us and said to me and my producer, go around the bar, go look and see if you can see her before you enter, so that we can then ask her to leave. So we were requested by police to do that, because there are rumors about how, you know, we were told to do that. So we looked, we saw she was there, and so we told the police officer on duty, and they asked her to leave. And I do know, according to Lori Hellis, she's with I can't think of her.
Chasing Justice is Lori Hellis's podcast. And I just want to say this. I think I put it in the description. No one is to be, I mean, I don't have an army. My channel's small. But if for any of you, and no one in my community is even a little bit like this, my community is so loving and respectful. But I just want to say it for maybe any new people that are watching. No one, we're not advocating for anyone to be sought out, to be reached, to be contacted in any way. Not Lori Hellis from Chasing Justice, not XTina, her stalker, which I won't provide her last name. That's really the only way to find her. No one is to be sought out. No one is to be sought out.
Yeah.
Channeling, but she stated while I was going live that she was with Anjanette Levy and my stalker when approached. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just relaying what one creator stated, but I don't know. I don't want to put any blame on anyone because, like I said, I don't know. I was just absolutely shocked. And I'll tell you this too, as someone that covers trials, this was very interesting. But we had heard, my team of attorneys, and I had heard like 3-4 days earlier that there had been a media request. And when there is a media request, you know this, you find out who's requesting to be pooled or what they're requesting. You're like, oh, Court TV is asking to be pooled. We'll see, you know, if it gets approved or not. It's in there. It's on the docket. You can see it. And we could see there was a media request, which was shocking. We couldn't see who. So I thought, oh, maybe it's a small YouTuber, like trying to get in, you know, their hearing. And so our attorneys called the court and said, hey, can you tell us who the media request is for? And they said, we can't actually, because it went from somebody straight to the judge's desk. And so we can't see who it's for. We're like, huh. And so we wrote, which I read on my 9-hour live, a very lengthy reason as to why there should never be media in a civil stalking injunction, and my specific civil stalking injunction, why I'm in danger. And like I said, this is someone trying to escape a coercive control issue. And then I was actually at my attorney's office when it was approved, and they were like, it was long crime. And so I will never know why they did that. Yeah, they're not checking the Utah civil, and I will never know why they didn't reach out to me and how this happened.
Yeah, interesting. I want to switch gears just a minute because, you know, I got a little ahead of myself here about asking about law and crime. But another question that I had for you, and I think a lot of people want to know, and I do believe that you gave questions.
Before we do that question, I just want to check in with you guys real quick. And then I have some things I want to read, and then we'll get back into just a little bit more of this. And then we're just going to talk about when it becomes when someone's talking about someone, because like, look, I have a legal channel. I have this channel and I talk about people and situations and things. When does it become, and in an adverse way sometimes, when does it become bullying and stalking? But we'll get into that. I want to check in with you guys. What's going on? I feel like it's been so long. It really does feel like a long time where I felt like this good and have something to talk about, and we're here like kind of on time. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but remember, hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel to grow bigger and better and more diverse. Not that weird, creepy kind of government diverse. I'll Samsplain it for you if you want. You want to hear some Samsplaining? Just like the video down below. All right. Hey, look who it is. Synchronized Souls. Wow. So good to see you. Sorry, I never got back to you on, I can't remember what case it was. The horrible case with that little girl. I can't remember his name, but I apologize. I never got back to you to do a show on that. I really do. I just didn't have the time and with just personal stuff. But awesome that you're here today. James, you as well, my managing moderator, Good to see you. Shell Dub's in the house. Good to see you. Kat K, awesome to see you. It's been so long since I've seen you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. It's just Robbie. Thank you so much for being here and participating in the chat. Rosanna Dana, good to see you. Who else is here? I got to go backwards, which I hate doing. Grateful 11, it's so good to see you. Hopefully all is well with you and yours down in the state that you live in. I'm just so careful not to dox anybody. Who else is here? James Collins cares, and he sure does. Oh, that's it. Oh, and Tan Louise, good to see you. Thank you guys so much. Most of you are some of the original Samsters. I am going to try to build that army of Samsters back up. I've been doing some pre-recorded shows, and they've been a lot of fun. They really have. You guys know I was a huge fan of Charlie Kirk. I wrote that cool song about Charlie Kirk that right after he was unalived, and I really waited to do any content. I did some memorial type content where I just talked about him and what he's, how he's helped me, kind of helped me articulate the things that I believe in. We were both Christians, and I really appreciated him for that. It helped me have better conversations with people, and so I was just really loved and adored him, and so did my wife. So it was just a huge loss, and I didn't want to participate in all the conspiracies that have happened, that are going around regarding him. There's some really outlandish conspiracies, but there are some fact-based situations, and I've been covering those, and they've been doing really well, and it's right on time for the holidays, which I need, because I want to have a nice Christmas with my 6-year-old, and so I'm super just excited to keep doing videos. And hopefully every once in a while I can come in and do the Morning Mayhem show. Even if it was just twice a week, it would be better than nothing. But it's so good to see you. Auntie Monkey Pants. Good morning to you, Auntie Monkey Pants. Hopefully you can rewind the show and not right now, but like maybe at the end, check out my statement at the beginning if you missed it. But it's so good to see you, Auntie Monkey Pants. Thank you so much for everything that you do behind the scenes in support of the channel. It's really, really appreciated. Elizabeth S., good morning to you. It's good to see you. Did I see Robin Bliss? Was she here today? I wanted to thank her. But if she's watching, Robin Bliss, thank you so much for your support behind the scenes. I really appreciate it. Who else is here? George Rose Hempson, or Georgie Rose Hempson. Good to see you from England. Is it the afternoon there? Thank you so much for being here and participating in the chat. She says, hello, lovely Sam from England. Love listening to your shows. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Georgie. I actually have a friend named Georgie. She's the daughter to an old friend. Hello, my others keeper. Good to see you. Do I have an email from you regarding a upcoming possible show? I will make sure I check that today so I don't miss anything. So busted up, just trying to get the final cut of the air. Oh, you guys are talking about James's gardening skills. Who all do I have as moderators anymore? Okay, I know I have James Collins Cares. Thank you so much. Shell Dubbed, thank you so much for being a moderator and for helping out with the shows when I come on. And I think that's it. Really. I don't know what happened to, I think Sherry LeBrun either got like a job that has a different schedule. I don't know. Oh, and my other's keeper. You're a moderator. I just want to make sure we have a call on Wednesday. Yep, perfect. That's tomorrow. Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember our conversation now. Yep, we're gonna have a call on Wednesday, and then yeah, we're gonna do a show on Thursday. That's right. Now I remember. I just need that little nudge. Yeah, this sweater is my Montana winter sweater. I was so happy to break it out of the closet today. I love this sweater. It is amazing. Yes, it's been very cold here lately. Yeah, it's been very cold. I've broke out the space heaters. I'm ready for the below 20, 30 below weather will be here soon. Actually today it's supposed to get up to 60, so it's going to be actually hot here today. That's pretty hot for us right now. But yeah, it's been pretty cold, but it's, sweater weather. I love sweater weather. Yeah, it is so cozy. Yeah, you do need that for that Scottish winter. I am a Scot. I'm half Scottish, half Mexican. That's got to be a good thing in one way or another. It might be a bad thing in other ways, but yeah. I remember when I was younger, and there was a lot of racism in my school against Mexicans. It was a different time, and I always said I was Hispanic. I never wanted to say Mexican, but I am truly Mexican. My grandma is from Mexico, my grandmother. But I remember being shy to say Mexican. I always said Hispanic. And there might have been even instances where I lied and said I was Spanish from Spain or something. But everyone knew the truth. Everyone knew the truth. I lived in a lightweight Mexican neighborhood. I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, and trying to say how I'm Hispanic, they're probably just like, look at this goofy white Mexican kid. So, I don't know. How do you got, yeah, Sexican. It does. That sounds, Kim, that sounds like not something you would ever say out loud. Sexican. I think that can mean something else too. That could be my North Hollywood porn star name. It's Sammy Sexican. She's like, damn, why did I even chat that? Oh, okay. See, yeah, as a kid, I probably didn't know that, or maybe that came after when I was a kid. I know terms like spig and like those very awful terms are super racist. But those were usually for the Boricuas, the Puerto Ricans. Oh, don't be sorry. I know you're not like sorry, but like sorry. Yeah, that's interesting. I think you're right. I think it was Michelle, like a proper term for that at some point. I don't know. Also, I will be. Do I have it on deck here? So I hope I have it. Where is it? Here, I'll go find it real quick. I'm hoping that tonight, it just depends if I tattoo today or not. I'm hoping tonight that I have a debut. Sorry, guys, I got to go find this. Come on, don't be slow. Okay, Diva quits. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm hoping, and I am going to get back to my other video, but I'm hoping that tonight I have a premiere debut on the Raw Truth Investigations channel. And if you guys missed it, this is the trailer for the Raw Truth Investigations.
We're finding more victims.
I don't want to be crass, but I know dead when I see dead.
Here, I'm going to play it again.
I don't want to be crass, but I know dead when I see dead.
Yeah, so I am super excited about that. Yeah, that's actually the intro that you'll see in the videos. So it'll announce the videos. Each video will be 3 stories. So there'll be 3 stories. So I'll announce the video. You know, today we're going to talk about, you know, this guy, this girl, and then that's the intro that'll play, and then it'll get into the first story. And each video will, hopefully, you know, will be about 20 minutes long. They'll just be like quick compilations, but each video will have something similar. And yeah, they're kind of fun. And hopefully I can make something happen with that channel. They're so fun to watch and do. And of course, in the descriptions will be links to the full stories of where I, you know, got the original stories from. So places like Explore With Us, Midwest Body Cam, or Midwest Safety, you know, channels like that. Yeah, and I've talked to all the channels that I will be using their content to make these true crime shows, and they're all super cool about it. You know, they didn't even say I really even had to give them shout outs, but as long as, you know, I'm doing it with fair use and adding value to their original content. So yeah, I think it's super fun. And you know, there might be some, it might morph into a channel to where I do like my own true crime stories. Like there's so many things happening up here in Montana that are completely unbelievable. Like there was a story this last week where the task force and the FBI and the Drug Enforcement Agency hit a house here, and there was like a little old lady and her son lived in the house, and they pulled them out respectfully. They didn't blow up the house with flashbangs and grenades. They just, you know, asked them to come out. They were super kind, got their medications for them, brought them out. But before the police body cam was released, they had gone online and said, you know, oh, they blew up, they tore apart the house. There's, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage at the house. You know, I'm just a 90-year-old lady, and she's like 82, but regardless, you know, she's old, but they were so respectful to her and her son. But she said that they were disrespectful, dragged them out, you know, half naked, which wasn't true. You know, we come to find out, and they started a GoFundMe, and that GoFundMe, because of the outrage from the community as well, the community should be outraged. The community's like, oh, them punks, them, you know, rotten police, you know, defund the police, because of what the lies that they had told. They raised a ton of money for their cause. Well, the police released the body cam, and the body cam was just like, the cops were just so polite. And they didn't destroy anything. They did search the house, but they went to the garage to where their grandson had stored like 50 stolen guns, drugs, all this stuff that the grandmother knew about, and they proved all of that. They could have arrested the grandmother for to be a part of the conspiracy. When you're harboring a drug dealer and with guns and drugs on your property, albeit it's not in the house where you dwell, you don't have dominion and control of it. There are charges for that. And if there was any of those stolen guns were in the house, that's called dominion and control. And so they could have charged her, her other son, with all of those things, and they didn't do any of that. And so that of course, Mariana's like, you got to cover this, but it didn't make national news. And so like, I think I want to cover it, but it is local, and I don't want to get involved because the community is divided. Even though the police body cam footage had come out to say that the lady had been not truthful. I don't want to call her a liar, but not truthful. The community is split. And I do have to go to Walmart and other things in the community, and I just don't want to be that guy. But I still might. I don't know yet. I still might. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, Ben. It upsets me too, especially they charged me with my everything real and made up. Of course, I beat the made up things, but the real things stuck. But when you don't charge people, that just encourages them to keep doing it. Because now I feel like that little lady because she has other grandsons that are doing the same things. I know of the family, of course, because I used to drug the T word up here to Montana. That's why I reside in Montana now, because the judge seen it fit for me to live here back in the day. And so of course I do know the family, and I know of the grandsons. I know their parents. And when what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so it encourages them just to keep doing it. Now she can her other grandson's like, okay, well, yeah, grandma won't get busted if I keep my guns in the shed behind the house or the garage or in the rafters. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Ben Bacon Bits, and good morning to you. Good sir. Good to see you. Or I'm sorry, Dad. Oh man, my sound effects aren't hooked up. So yeah, so maybe I'll cover that. Grateful says defund the police has to be one of the most dangerous mob rants there is right now. Don't ask for what you don't really want. Exactly. There's a video that's out there, and maybe I'll do a quick video about it, about this councilman who they have a small police force. It's in Utah. But he just the councilman, you guys have probably seen it. I think it did go viral. The councilman's son got wrecked into a parked car. The police just came to get a statement or to talk to make their police report. And the councilman just says, I'm defunding the department. I don't know why we have 3 officers. There only needs to be 2, or maybe there's 5 and there only needs to be 3. 1 guy at night, 1 guy and 2 guys in the daytime. And it's just crazy. And he was screaming for defund the police. Maybe you guys have seen that. It's just nuts, man. It's just nuts. Even during my 18 years of being in federal custody, I never once thought while I was in there that cops suck, that the police suck. Even when I was arrested, and running from the cops, it wasn't like I thought, oh, the police, I'm going to beat them. It was just like, man, I know I did wrong. I hope the good guys don't catch me, the bad guy. It was like that. And but you know what? The cops understood that and they knew that about me because, they have me talking on the phone, hours and hours of wiretaps and, videos of me. And they always knew I treated everyone with respect. I treated the police officers with respect. Even the times where they pulled me over and let me go so they could let me hang myself and so they could build a bigger case on me. There was many times where they had let me go. I should do a whole show on all the stories of where the feds let me go so I could hang myself. And I was always super cool and respectful to them. Never once did I ever escalate anything. But anyway, that's enough to talking about how good of a guy I am. Sam's a great guy. Just ask him. He'll tell you. He really will. It's probably a shortcoming I have. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear my sound effects, but I can. I want to fix that because they're so much fun. Let me just test this one. What? Oh yeah, maybe you guys do hear it. I just can't hear it. Okay, good. Oh no, but that's behold, the love of disco is the root of all kinds of people. Don't make me play my disco song. I will play the After the Bars disco song. It's so good though. Okay, let's get back on topic, guys. While we're watching this, if you guys want to start a conversation in the chat, that would be awesome. I am going to be watching the chat. And I'll break into the video too. I could tell you why, but oh shoot. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
And then I had another contract worker who I then terminated.
Question that
I'm gonna start that over. Man,
and I think a
thank
lot of
God I
people
didn't let that
wanna
go for
know,
too long.
and I do believe that you gave quite a detailed explanation of this. Do you know, Lauren, why this is happening to you? Why and how this started? Can you give a overview to folks who might not be clear on this? Is exactly how and why when these wheels started turning and the turn of events that led to where we are today?
Yeah. And then if you want to jump in and tell me why you really think it's happening, let me know. Like I say, I'm hidden true crime. We're proud to say that we have the hidden motives, but at this point, you being law enforcement, maybe you can help me understand. But I can say in general, the TLDR for those that they can't handle watching a 9-hour live stream is I have a business that was growing, and I had contract workers, and one of them quit unhappy. And then I had another contract worker who I then terminated. And then I had them, then I had the friends, and then there were friends. Two contract workers. Like I should say, the stalker was also a contract worker. Although oddly, she says on her TikTok accounts targeting me that she was just an ex-friend and never a TikTok worker, but I have plenty of invoices showing she was. And so you've got two ex-contract workers contacting another ex-contract worker, and then you've got this stalker that's actually reaching out to every person I confided might have a beef with me from my past, and they're getting a larger and larger group together. I think their ultimate thing of power is that in private conversations, I said mean things about people, and that they have the receipts and that they know. And then what this group did is then start reaching out to other people to join the fold. I call it a whisper campaign, where it's all behind the scenes. And I can tell you, like, this is actually, I get a lot of texts all the time. My phone was silent. Like, I don't know how far this went, and then we're getting whispers and threats, and a few things are coming out, and someone's finally calling me saying, hey, I got a call from this person, where I'm like, that person? And they're telling me, people I've interviewed, people I love, to never trust you again, that you're evil, like that you are really bad. And, things like that. It just continues, just like, and, but it all leads back to what I just told you, ex-contract workers. That all roads lead back to the ex-contract workers and their friends. And then, it just goes bigger and bigger. No one reaching out to me, by the way, not even Law and Crime. And getting bigger and bigger to the point where this is giant snowball. I don't know right from left. And then it gets to the point where I'm trying to reach out to people to understand, a Proton email goes out. And this is where it gets strange too, because I'm thinking, oh no, some of my private texts have gotten out. I'm ashamed. I'm not perfect. It's embarrassing. But then there's a Proton email that goes out, meaning Proton is a protected thing where it's anonymous, and it goes out while I'm covering the Brandon Boudreaux trial, Lori Vallow representing herself, and it says that I've talked shit about all these people that actually aren't people I've talked shit about. So now I'm like, okay, now it's a smear campaign. This isn't actually even what I've actually said. Okay, I haven't talked shit about these people. One of them's like,
and that's what I wanted to talk about, how it escalates. Now, something, we're going to get back to this. I'm just going to go back and forth. So when cyberbullying, or when whisper campaigns, as Lauren calls it, start, there's always a modicum, is that a word? Of truth, right? And she's ashamed of those, and and she would be the first to tell you that, like, look, we're human. Like, I'm sure there's lots of texts that I have that I wouldn't want the public to know. Maybe not so much, I know this sounds self-righteous, but since I've been saved, I don't talk like that anymore about others, friends or colleagues or people that, of that nature. I just don't say anything at all. And I pray, I would love to say I pray for my enemies and the people I don't like. I do sometimes when they used to be people I loved that have hurt me, and I want to restore that friendship or relationship. I do pray for those people, but I wish I did pray for enemies more. But I don't think I have any enemies anymore. But here's the deal. So it starts off with a little bit of truth, and because that's not effective, that's not hurting the person that you want it to hurt, then it becomes, then they start making up lies. And then that's what it becomes, a smear campaign. And then when some of those pass, when you can pass off a lie, a little lie, then you can make up even bigger lies, because when you see that person still growing and becoming more and more successful, and you don't like that because you think because of these little things that you have should have tore down. And I'm using her bullies terms, and her bullies group of bullies language, see her on a platter. Those are their words. when you don't see that happening, then you need to make up things, or then you need to increase the harassment by showing up to places where they're at, by showing up to eating establishments or conventions to where they're at, to further the harassment and bullying. And they did that. And they went against, she went against the order, or sent third parties to yell at her. They're actually just a group of hens that are really, really making her life miserable. Whatever Lauren did or said, that's between Lauren and the people that she said that about, if those things have come out. But they really, really are like holding this over her head, and they are harassing her so much. And I just encourage Lauren, just keep doing what you're doing. Just do your work, your amazing work. Keep doing it. Be there as much as you can for the victims, and try to have a light heart going in to these situations that are very frustrating for you, that where you feel, when you feel like it's hard, or if people aren't appreciative, just know that when you're helping someone in need, when you're truly helping victims get their story out there, so maybe they can benefit somewhere, somehow, like financially, for them to whatever their needs are, if you can just keep helping people in that way, and by getting their stories out there. Yeah, we know it helps you in your channel, and it's not altruistic, and and it's not, you're not doing it for free, and it's your business, how you support your own family. Just keep doing what you're doing, and just try to have an understanding on what others are going through behind the scenes, and the stories that you cover, and you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. I don't know what your faith is, but whatever it is, turn to God, and pray, to have discernment, and for regarding those things, and to give others a little bit of grace, the grace that you feel, or that you need, or that you might feel that you deserve from others. Just pray for those things, if that's what you do. I don't know your faith, but I want to get back into this just a little bit more.
My best friend. So I'm like, what's going on? So that's happening. I'm trying to reach out to people right and left to figure out what's going on. And then no one will pick up my phone calls or talk to me. So my producer reaches out to a creator who says they want my head on a platter, and that I better brace myself because it's going to go viral and it's bad.
Well, I didn't know she was about to say that, but I had heard that that's what they were saying and doing. And
she continued to say, brace ourselves, over and over again. It was so scary. Again, with my phone being silent, no one talking to me, the threats that I've spoken about people I haven't, that I called the police because they're like, they want my head on a platter, and people turning on me that I thought were my friends too. Like, so, and now they're saying that I'm abusing the police. Like, there's nothing I can do that's right. I'm like spinning my wheels, right? Like, I call the police, now I'm abusing the police. I take it lying down, they just keep punching. I gray rocket, meaning you stay silent, you don't respond, it doesn't stop. And then after that, brace yourself. Multiple accounts happen. I actually only saw on my live that there was a TikTok and an Instagram. I had no idea she had a YouTube too. But so multiple accounts, a Twitter, whatever it's called, X recently started, and just every other day, threatening, cyberbullying on all of these accounts, saying they have something on me, And then it also makes me wonder, what did I do? What did I do? Maybe I am bad. You know, I have things I'm ashamed of that I said behind the scenes I do. So
And here's the deal. This is what really pisses me off about this is that all these other creators and, you know, Turtle Boy, you know, I support Turtle Boy and Free Turtle Boy and all the things he did, but I just watched him and he's like, oh man, that's it. They're just talking about that isn't stalking, isn't, they're doing more than just talking. And rightfully, he doesn't know the whole story. At that point where he had made that comment, but everyone's like minimizing what these women are doing, by they're not just making videos, they're calling employers, they're calling or calling her friends and turning their friends against her, and Lauren, I would say this to you, and I don't know if she'll ever see this. I'm a small, tiny channel, but Lauren, I say this to you, any friend that was friends with you until they listened to XTina and the 7 gatherers, which is, I don't even want to get into they called themselves the 7 gatherers, which were responsible for unalives, people getting unalive. But anyways, and that's another threat. You're calling your group the 7 gatherers. If a group called the 7 gatherers was harassing me, I'd feel sorry for 7 of the gatherers. I'd feel sorry for them because I have a little girl that lives at my house. And if I was being harassed like that by a group called the 7 gatherers, I would take that as a threat that you were going to unalive me. Call it what you will, me being dramatic. It's not being dramatic. It's not being dramatic. And you would see me on Law and Crime going to trial for 7 people getting unalived. And you know what? I'd stand up in trial with a smile on my face for protecting my family. Anyways.
So then you start questioning yourself, and I'm like, I am a bad person. Like, what did I do? What do they have? And that's kind of, my husband's taught me, like, coercive control and intimidation. Like, we have the receipts. A lot of people have been saying for about 5 months they've got the receipts. But just,
I don't know if I made my point. Those people, if one of those creators or friend, anyone, have stopped being your friend, you do not need them in your life. You don't. I know the friendship seemed real and authentic, and maybe you've bared fruit financially having these friendships and working relationships with people. You don't need them. You don't need them. You have enough people on your side, Lauren, that if you're worried about it affecting your channel, about these people continuing, because you know what? They're probably going to continue. They're probably going to continue, and you're just going to have to just keep doing what you're doing. But you're big enough now that whatever subscribers you lose from this constant harassment, you're going to gain in other ways. God will not let you fail. If God has had your back thus far, he will not let you fail as long as you abide in him and are obedient. But that's if you're a believer. I keep pushing my Christian ways on you, and I don't mean to do that, but I'm just saying, if you are, just trust in him.
Repeat it, and it's been going on for months, and I actually ignored it for months and months and months. It got bigger and bigger. Like I said, I have been canceled on news organizations. So not knowing how or why, and then I'm finding out. I think the scariest part for me was also finding out that this the person on all the accounts saying bad things about me, cyberbullying me, is then calling people that she knows that I have beefs with and riling them up, like from years ago. And she's reaching out to people where I'm realizing that just that alone is a violent act. Like when you have a problem with somebody from the past and it maybe didn't end well, and they're calling them and they're instigating their anger and their then it got very scary. And so I was very fearful to go anywhere. And I was going to go actually to the Adelson trial. And because of this, that's why I didn't go. I reported from home. And then
and sorry to keep interrupting, but this is a show on cyberbullying, and this is my show. So I get to keep interrupting. Now, and I say that for the people that catch the replay that always want to say, you know, I don't know why you just don't let it play. But anyways, now I missed my point because I Sam-splained. What did she just say? What did she just say? Sorry, guys, I can't remember. Let me just play this again.
And riling them up like from years ago.
Got it.
And she's reaching out to.
For those of you that say that that's a grandiose statement, that, you know, like, or that she's overstating it, and she's not. It is a because the people that I have problems with, like, say from my past, and if someone was like getting them riled up, I mean, they could get riled up into a murderous frenzy. If you show that sort of obsession for someone, that it's taking over your life, because it is taking over, especially Christina's life and others. I seen 10 TikToks, or that might be an exaggeration. At least 5 TikToks. This is when it started. And she would say a situation that happened. This is when I knew that this person was bad, or this is when I knew, this is when I knew that this was happening. Then talk to her about it. Say something to her about it. Ask her, say like, if you don't have a discussion with these people, I am, and even that's shitty, but just, if it's my friend that's behaving badly, I talk to my friend like, bro, dude, chill down, man. Let's do this differently. Let's do this differently. And some of it's like, maybe Lauren tried to recruit this friend into not liking somebody, and this friend decided, no, I'm not going to like, and so tell Lauren that, like, look, no, Lauren, you're not going to recruit me. I'm friends with her and I'm friends with you. Can we just leave it at that? There's so many simple solutions to what these women are doing very, very badly, and then building up. They're like forming this angry mob against Lauren. And that's why it can be violent. It can come off as violent. Because look, she already doesn't know. She's already dumbfounded on like, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on. So if you are surprised that this is going on, it's not hard to assume that something more can happen, that something more violent can happen. DutyRon or Ed Wallace, his co-host, plays a news story of a podcaster getting her and her husband getting unalived. Now, of course, we pray that doesn't happen to Lauren, but he plays that to show like these things do escalate. And even if it starts off as just like a cute little TikTok, my friend, she's such a bitch. And you know what? You guys all should think she's a bitch too, because this is what she did. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe 1 or 2 TikToks, move it forward. Move it forward, because now, believe it or not, you're obsessed. And listen here, Christina, I know you. I know who you are. And my Samsters will know I'm always right about this. When I call out personalities, because of my history, and I know every single personality, from drug trafficking in foreign countries to federal prison to big corporations, thriving in big corporations, thriving in Hollywood, working with actors and grips and people of the like, working with systems engineers and vice presidents and presidents of banks and big tech firms. I know every personality style that's out there. And XTina, I have your number, and I know exactly the personality you are. And it's funny, and I seen it when you were being questioned from the police. I did. I seen your personality come through, your little bare feet, no shoes, socks on. I seen your purse. You have some scratch tickets sticking out, so you can tweak on your little scratch tickets. Your obsessive behavior towards Lauren. I know who you were in a previous life, XTina, and I don't say that to be menacing. I'm saying that I know why you're doing this. I understand the person you are from your past and who you are today, and it's that past person shining through. I'm glad you've come past from where you were, but I see that past person shining through, and you're a mean girl now. In its most hardcore form, you're a mean girl now. And that sucks. And you deserve better for you. And I hope you return to that person that's growing from the old you. I really do. All right, let's get back to this video. It's
people where I'm realizing that just that alone is a violent act. Like when you have a problem with somebody from the past and it maybe didn't end well, and they're calling them and they're instigating their anger and their then it got very scary. And so I was very fearful to go anywhere, and I was going to go actually to the Adelson trial. And because of this, that's why I didn't go. I reported from home, and then it kept getting so then I learned like there's more people coming from my past, and I'm like, what are they doing? And then the TikToks are saying, we're trying to find her LinkedIn. Isn't it strange? She doesn't have a LinkedIn. I can't figure out who's linked with her. In other words, I can't call them. And then they're saying, okay, I've called UNLV now. That's where my husband is an adjunct professor. And they're saying that they're exposing my husband, who has nothing to do with this. And people have been wondering why he hasn't been on YouTube. And we've only been doing Patreon episodes, angry that, we're putting my co-host behind a paywall. Well, yeah, because we feel safer behind a paywall. That's, he had a board complaint recently. He had to defend, which he defended, and it was ridiculous. Like it's just like, I didn't mention that on my live either. Right. There are more Patreon emails. There's more stuff going on. I mean, I know that I covered it for 9 hours, but I didn't cover everything going on. And it.
Them, of course, I think I've already talked about that, but them already calling their husbands place of work is I need to pause this. I found a video of Christine. They're like saying like, oh, he got his master's in marriage, family, and child counseling, and he has a PhD in philosophy. It's so crazy. It's if you have an MFCC, which is what a marriage, family, and child counseling degree is, it's a master's of science or clinical science. If you have that degree and then you go get your PhD, it's in psychology. They would not let him work there and teach there if that's not what it is. And here's another thing, like these women, and look, I'm not trying to form an angry mob against these women. I'm just stating, we're talking about cyberbullying. Don't these women know that at a certain point, when your channel gets to a certain size, that there'll be scrutiny from lawyers that you're helping, from families that you're advocating for. People will scrutinize you, and Lauren and her husband know this. They're not going to make these grandiose claims of who and what they are and what their credentials are if it can't be proven. It just doesn't happen. Not at this level. Like, oh, well, maybe it happens, but it's rare. And these two don't come off as grifters in their content at all. And I get it. And look, this woman made all these TikTok. I want to show it, but I don't want to dox her TikTok because I don't want anyone going over there. But they made all these videos saying how her husband isn't who he says he is. Where's the retraction videos that say, "Oh, we're sorry, he is who he says he is"? Where are those at? If you want me to take you seriously, but I mean, I never would. But if you want me to take you seriously, if you're giving me information about someone, you better be honest with your mistakes about the information about that someone. But I'm not even going to let you get that far. I'm going to tell you, like, whoa, pump the brakes, SA. You need to look in the mirror for a second right now and figure out what's going on with you. But like I said, I know who you are. I know the person you were. I can see it come through loud and clear. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm just saying, if I see it, others see it. And it's not attractive. And I don't want to bash her. That's not what I don't want to do. And by me even talking about it in any other way is coming off as bashing. That's not what I mean. And I'm just saying, stop. The YouTube and these other creators and the true friends of Lauren are asking you, stop. Just stop. It's a cease and desist from the internet. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be on her side. But you know what? I'm stating truth and facts here. I'm stating truth and facts.
And then you can't explain it either. You're like, I'm not this person. So I don't know. I don't see. It's so hard to explain, which is why I did a 9-hour live. I'm like, no one can believe this. And my fear, unless if I was going to say it, I had to say it, So I spent
Can I jump in here and say something?
hours saying it. Yeah.
Okay. For people saying that, oh, this isn't restraining order stuff, that this is just mean girl behavior. Well, I'm sorry, this is beyond mean girl behavior. They have crossed the line into the criminality. Okay. Constant threats, emails, text, videos, and so forth. The crime there would be aggravated harassment.
Yes.
Okay. Contacting other people from the past that may have had a beef with Lauren and so forth. Now we start getting into aggravated harassment and conspiracy. Okay. Then making any type of threat over the internet, besides, is a federal crime. And we're talking about making terroristic threats. Okay. I mean, if this was a beef between an employer and a contractor, well, we have legal ways to deal with this in civil court, okay, or criminal court, depending on if there are being or crimes are being alleged about an employer contract with a contractor, okay. Now, if this was some other kind of beef, okay, well, you've taken that beef to an unreasonable level, okay. And you have to step back and take a look at what's going on here. Okay. This is not normal, folks. This is not normal.
Thank you, Ed.
And it's unreasonable. And a judge already issued a restraining order. Okay. Evidence was presented and the judge saw it. Now, let me step back even further. having seen the video of the Aurora Police Department encounter at the Crime Con, okay, she's lucky she walked away. If I was given that order of protection from a complainant and I read it, and there's the person within 500 feet doing exactly what the order tells her she can't do, and after talking to her, I find out she knew about it and she was served and she has a photograph of it sent to her, okay, the bracelets come out and she's in cuffs and she's leaving CrimeCon with me.
Violating an order of protection is a crime.
That's right.
She did it several times. But see, people in the chat, Ed, are saying, well, I didn't see or hear any threats. Threats don't have to be direct. And when you tell somebody, which they told Lauren, that creators, I think they said plural, many people or many creators want your head on a platter, that's a threat. It's an idle threat. And, you know, people don't understand that you can't just go around saying, we're going to ruin you, we're going to do this. And the amount of not only psychological torture we saw and heard Lauren talk and get so vulnerable on that live stream, that 9-hour live stream, she talked about harming herself. I mean, this is not something that she had to share with everybody, but she wanted to share it to show you with full transparency the enormity of what these events are doing to not only her, but her entire family. Her husband's blood pressure raising up, her son asking questions. This is not regular, normal, good human behavior. This is beyond it. Ed,
now, Lauren, the incident at the bar restaurant with her videotaping your party, okay? She was well within 500 feet, okay? Yeah. This occurred after the police confrontation at CrimeCon.
That night.
That night. So she knew, she was given a break by the police. She knew about the restraining order, the order of protection. And then that night she goes out and violates it again. Now, any reasonable person looking at this should understand this is not reasonable behavior. This is not normal behavior. That something is wrong here. Okay. And she could have been arrested in the bar.
Yeah. I also want to point out that she also posted that day. This is how subtle it is, how vague. No one else will notice, but she knows that I'm watching, right? Because I've filed something. So how vague it is. She posts on the TikTok targeting on me, or all the counts, her smiling and the lyrics to Worms, which is an Eminem song. Go look up the first verse. So I don't want to misphrase it. Google it and read the first lines of Worms. So after she was served by Aurora Police, shared her smiling, doing a verse of this song, then showed up in the bar. And do you see the words? Something about the plaintiff. I think. I'm
gonna play it if you don't mind. Is it okay if I play that TikTok?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. If you don't want me to, I won't.
No, go ahead.
I mean, look, this is her entire TikTok. I went and showed Ed before we went live. It's like almost every one of her created TikToks on that account, or indirectly, or she doesn't mention you by name, and that's where people are getting caught up. Ed,
it's a whole account, and I think I'm going to not let that play, that TikTok play, just because I don't want to be a part of doxing this woman, of getting. I just don't want to be a part of that part. Look, I stand with Lauren 1,000,000%, but I don't want to be a part of the problem and become exactly what, we're speaking out against. I trust everyone that's here in the chat right now, 1,000,000,000% that that's not what you would do. But, I'm not a huge, there's only, I think 25 people watching right now. But, there are replays and people, I just don't want to be accused of being a part of the problem. So I'm not going to let that play. You guys can Google. Yeah, let Reddit do the doxing. Exactly. I've already learned my lesson with accidentally doxing people, and I am walking on eggshells. You know what I mean? So yes, let Reddit do the doxing. I hadn't even gone to Reddit to see what's happening. on Reddit regarding this. I think I want you for entertainment purposes, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Not play that video here though. I don't think I think we pretty much got the gist of it, of what's happening. And it's escalating, and I just want to say something to the other creators out there. And who said it? Let me find it. Shell Dub said, these content creators better lawyer up. Like if they start affecting, they might already be affecting, but here's the deal. The people that are doing it, they don't have huge platforms or a lot of money. And the main one is not even a creator. She just started a TikTok to terrorize her. And it's working. And they don't have it financially to pay for a lawsuit. It'd be getting blood from a turnip. But she might want to sue eventually for defamation. But I think everyone involved would rather it just stop and everybody maybe open up a dialogue and everyone be honest. And that includes Lauren. Like, Lauren, please just be honest and accept responsibility where it needs to be accepted, and we can all move forward. Absolutely. I really truly think that the worst thing that's out there for Lauren is something to do with a manuscript and an author. But she says, no, that's not what happened. That her fact checker might have sent out this manuscript. But the deal is that, and Lauren thought that she had been plagiarized, like that her content and information had been plagiarized by someone that worked for her. Those are legitimate concerns. No matter how you want to look at it, you want to look at it as Lauren being the mean girl behind the scenes. And, she thought she was being plagiarized. So she contacted the publisher about another woman's manuscript. And maybe she got that manuscript by being deceitful. She needs to own that. She needs to own that. But I don't know if that's true. That's just people talking and others gossiping. The gossip is ugly. That's like one of the main rules in my chat, and we just don't do it. Once someone starts to gossip, speak to the hand. We won't block you, but we'll just let you know, like, hey, this isn't the place for the gossip. Now, as a reaction channel, I get to react to things, but I'm not going to. Well, I'm not going to Sam-splain that. I am who I am, and that's all that I am. Yeah, that's just I get to do the presenting and gossiping as long as it's respectfully. I think I just painted myself back into a corner just now, and I don't know. Yeah, that's my Popeye impersonation. You're probably the only one that's going to recognize that. Maybe my dad, he might notice it. I do have an announcement. I know I quit vaping and started vaping again, but where is it? But look what I got from my doctor. He got me the nicotine patches, and it's a 30-day stop smoking aid. And I'm going to give it my all, and I'm really going to try to quit smoking. Because you guys know I started smoking. I quit vaping, and then I started smoking again. My life is stressful. If I have started smoking after 6 years, I mean, literally, and then I had quit smoking 14 years. I quit smoking for 14 years, started smoking again, smoked for about 2 years. and then quit for another 6 years. And then I've been smoking for like 3 weeks, like real deal cigarettes. And yeah, I'm excited about these patches. I'm excited about these, and they're strong too. Man. They let the good times roll. But yeah, that's happening in my life. But you know, life is a mess if I'm like outside smoking cigarettes. Just God, this life. You know, as long as I don't have a drink in my hand, which I've been good, still sober to this day. Yep, I have some longevity on my sobriety, and I know even having one drink at all could ruin it all. So I stand firm on the drinking, but man, those cigarettes, when I need to like walk out of the house and go like that, it's like perfect. It's like perfect. And so please pray for me and my smoking. But I have the solution. I've been working towards the solution, and that's all that matters. Man, I need another water. I don't know why my mouth is so dry. But anyways, I mean, that really needs to be what happens. And these other creators, like I love Turtle Boy. Sometimes I think he shoots from the hip. I think it gets him in trouble. You know, I've had his back on some recent things where not a lot of people did, and either it was noticed or unnoticed. That I don't do it for the to be noticed. I just want to know what where I stand on this situation. And as a part of the Free Karen Reed movement, I had to get his back on some things, and where not a lot of people did. And I just hope he just kind of rethinks where he lands on this. And basically he's just, and I get where he's coming from. He's just like, oh man, she's just crying about this stuff. This ain't nothing. No, it is something. And I really hope he doesn't, I just, that's all I want to say about it. I just hope he really thinks about what he says. Like, yeah, you're a guy, you can handle it. Yeah, I'm a guy, I can handle it. You know, and like a tough guy. I don't mean just like a regular, you know, beta male, like a true alpha male. You know, yes, we can handle those things. And we know if it gets dangerous, that we just go handle it a different way. And I don't necessarily mean with violence, but with definitely confrontation. So, but you know, this is a woman being attacked by a lot of women who knows, you know. Let me just give you a scenario that's super easy and it's super plausible. And this isn't me like making some like situation worse than it is. Any of those women can have a man in their life. Look, it just happened. It just happened with Tyler Robinson in the Charlie Kirk thing. Because I do believe if everything else is true and we're going to keep it to its simplest form, I truly believe Tyler Robinson had in his ear his girlfriend / boyfriend in his ear how much they were offended by Charlie Kirk, and he said, "You know what, honey? Literally, honey, my love, I'm doing this, and you know what? You're going to love me forever for it." Now let's just about this. Any of those women, because I don't know the sanity of these women or the men are in their life, but I know men in prison that are in there for a long time because of things that they did for women, their wives, their girlfriends, someone they wanted to be their girlfriend, someone they wanted to show off for, and you just don't know. And everything is already so unstable with this situation. It really is. It's unstable. You can't say that it's not. There's whole channels made for it. You know, people showing up, people calling people's, you know, employers and other things. And that can be, in a situation like this, disastrous. So it's not something not worthy of crying about on a 9-hour live where you had to take back the truth and what's going on, you know, and she just had to say like, no, look, before all my personal things I wanted private, this situation that's private. She doesn't want it private because of what they know, because of the screenshots that they might have that they have of Lauren being a mean girl, possibly. She's not trying to keep it quiet for that. I mean, Lauren already knows that they're contacting everyone and their mother about it. She wants to keep it quiet because she just, like, it's her family and it's her personal details. And it's something that she is trying to deal with behind the scenes, and then also tried to make a living. That's why she just doesn't want it on Law and Crime. And neither would I. Neither would I. And yes, the stories she covers are from Law and Crime, and she covers stories of victims of certain things and trials. And it's not being a hypocrite saying, I don't want my stuff on there. It's the type of content that she's going through. It's the situation she's going through is different than, you know, if Lauren had unalived 2 people and she was in trial, of course, Law and Crime's going to be there and she would have to accept that. But she doesn't. She's being stalked. And she's trying to deal with it behind the scenes for multiple reasons. For her stalker to not be doxxed, for all these women to not be doxxed, and for them to be, you know, hated, for her to not be possibly hated more than's already happening. She just, it's not out of fear for herself. It's out of fear for the entire situation. You know, yes, she has problems with these women, but she doesn't hate them. And if there's text messages saying that she does, that's in the moment. I don't think hate is in her heart. Maybe in the moment she might use the H word. But my daughter uses the H word when she talks about, I hate you, Dad, because maybe I didn't, you know, run to her beck and call quick enough. You know, it's so, you know, some text taken out of context or even in context. Those are private texts where she felt safe. I said it at the beginning and I'm going to say it now. Yes, she wanted it private. You know, if Anjanette Levy wants to present this for the whole world because Lori Hellis, you know, yeah, she was there with Lori Hellis and they were all talking because she was there with Lori Hellis and when the situation went down, then that's on Anjanette Levy. But Anjanette Levy's wrong for it. Law and Crime is wrong for getting clicks and views regarding this story. Like, truly, they're rich enough as it is. They have plenty of stories to cover. They're not dying for the next news cycle. But I'll tell you what, I know who's going to come out ahead in this. Mark my words. I don't think I've been wrong yet here with my channel and predictions. And I predict a lot. I predict Diddy. I predict Karen Reed. Of course, that was an easy prediction. But I predict exactly to almost the month of what his thing would be. And that's when everyone said he should be getting life. But I kept it real. I know the federal system. I know the court system. I know what's happening with a lot of situations. And I just, from life experience, not because I'm smarter than anyone else. But mark my words, the winner in this is going to be Lauren. Not that there needs to be a winner or a loser, but Lauren's not going to lose. Like, whatever their mission is, the 7 gatherers or XTina, whatever their mission is, I mean, what is your end game? You have to have an end game. What is it? I mean, well, they've already said what it was. What am I talking about? They want to see her false kingdom crushed. They've said it. We want to see her false kingdom crushed, and they're going to make sure that it happens. By what? By putting her in the loony bin or driving her to the unimaginable of unaliving herself? In my culture, we have a saying, Pobre Sita. You know what I say to you, Christina? If that happened, Pobre Sita. Look it up. That's all I want to say. Google it. Because if that happens, oh, Pobre Sita. It's all bad. It's all bad. Yeah. It's all bad because, you know, the laws are changing. They could find you responsible. They really could. Yes, the person who makes that decision is the one who makes that decision. But look, we're not going to, and I say we as a society, we're not going to keep letting bullying situations end up in women and girls and even some boys and men unalive themselves. We're not going to let it keep happening. I'm going to check out the chat real quick, guys. Hey, Real T with Krista Marie. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Go check out the beginning. Go to the beginning if you can catch the replay. A lot's been said. I wish I could recap for you, but I can't. But I'm glad you're here. I would love to do a show with you someday. I seriously, you can't be pro TB and not see what Lauren is doing. You can be pro TB and not see what Lauren is doing. Lauren is not being here. Let's see what the Ajira thing. I disagree. You can't be pro TB and not see what Lauren is doing. Lauren is not being stalked, and she's weaponizing the law while being a massive hypocrite. I see what you're saying with that. Like, I can't be pro because of what, because of his charges, right? I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only thing you can mean. I think it's a little different, and I don't know enough about his charges, exactly what his charges are, or how or what. I just know, I know it's witness tampering. I know the witness tampering, and yeah, like he definitely did not witness tamper. And so that is a little different. I do feel it's a little different. I'll have to think on that a little more because I in my head I've already ended my show. So to like stop, like if I'd have read that like 10 minutes ago, I'd have a better answer for you. And that's not me copping out. Like, I have to get going. But please come back for the answer to that, because I'm going to answer that, or maybe I'll answer it in the comment. But no, I don't think I can. I think I can be pro Turtle Boy, and also see what's real with the Lauren situation and the. Well, I get it. I get it. See, I'm going to get caught in answering this right now. Laura's not being stalked. She's weaponizing the law while being a massive hypocrite. I would need to see proof of that. I think. I think she did not feel safe enough to, because, I mean, a lot has happened around her, like contacting her husband work. That's big for me. That's really huge for me to be, to going that far. And it just comes off as unstable. It really does. And Turtle Boy, it never came off as unstable, I guess. And so, like, I believe he's charged wrongly. But anyways, I'll answer that more tomorrow. How about that? But I disagree. So, but I want people out here saying things like that. I don't want a bunch of people you're killing it, Sam. Absolutely. No, I definitely want people in my chat saying those exact same things. But anyways, guys, I gotta go. You don't know some things I see. Grateful says, Sam, you don't know some things I see. Should I stay on for another 10 minutes? I don't know if I can though. It's 11:09. I have to be there at 11:30. My motorcycle has to warm up because it's cold. And it's a Harley, and it's a carbureted. No, I'm not going to be able to hang out, but look, let's continue this conversation in the chat. I would love to. I wish there was a way to leave the live chat going while the show turned off. But thank you guys so much for coming out today. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a while since I've come on, but I just wanted to just kind of state my piece on this. And maybe Ajira, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Maybe there's some truth into what you're saying, and I don't have all the facts, but I feel like I do. I did like a lightweight deep dive in my free time the past 3 days, and I didn't know where I was going to land on it. Like, look, I've never met Lauren. I've never chose a side in an internet beef. But because of the cyberbullying and the bullying aspect of it, I had to say something about it, and that's all. And because it's it's kind of loosely connected to the communities that I'm in, and really Turtle Boy is the one who put me on this to actually make a live about it. Was yesterday. So I don't know, guys, but man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody is welcome. Yeah, no, I know. Do me. She said, do you, Sam? Yeah, I'm not trying to capitulate. Is that the word? I'm a wordsmith. I make up a lot of words as I go along. And so I just want to make sure that I'm not like, hammering down, shaving, sanding down these new words that I make up, like grotesquities. That's a word that I made up. It sounds real, but it really isn't. But I thought it was for probably my entire life. Yeah, we should end on that. Guys, I do have my Charlie Kirk song here at the end. Check it out. I mean, a lot of you have seen it, but some of you haven't. We're just going to end on that note. Thanks again, everyone. I wish I could name you all by name and say goodbye to everybody personally. But I really have to go. I am grateful. You guys be kind to each other. I can't say it enough. Be intrusively kind. If you see someone's head down, maybe just give a look to make sure they're okay. Give everyone a hug that you can. If it's a stranger that you're talking to, or you have some kind words for, when you leave, give them a hug. They'll let you know if they're not huggers and they don't want it. People that are huggers will just welcome it freely. When I finish a tattoo, and because I always hug my customers, I give them a hug goodbye. And when I do, and they know I'm getting ready to hug them, they take a couple steps back and let me know they're not huggers. But it's rare. It's rare. I mean, who wouldn't hug me? I'm this big burly ex-gang member. But yeah, no, everybody hugs me. I'm so huggable. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Mahalo.
The sun was shining, the sky open wide. Your words still fly like flags through our town, our guide. Stand up for truth, you called us to do. And after the bars, we are Charlie, raising red, white, and blue.
What's your name?
None of your business, unfortunately, but...
Okay, hello, nice to meet you, none of your business.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So, do you love America?
Yes, I do.
I hate America. every state in the USA should be an independent country. What do you think of this?
Well, I just first have to ask, since you hate the country, do you plan to leave?
What do you mean by that?
Do you plan to go live in another country?
No, I do not.
Let me tell you something.
Your face is an idiot.
America is the only country where even those who hate it refuse to leave. That's how you know you live in a great country.
Can you prove that? Well, thank you. May I have a hat?
No. So let me ask you, none of your business. Who do you plan to vote for?
I plan to vote for Kamala Harris.
Why?
I mean, you answered my question, so I'm done here. Like, there are people waiting.
Can you tell me her greatest accomplishment?
No, I can't.
Can you tell me a single accomplishment?
I cannot. I want to leave. Like.
With stripes on our shoulders and stars in our sights. So we'll rise hand in hand for the good of this land. We'll carry Charlie's flame. Let the flag still wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Through sorrow and toil, our voices ring true. We'll stand for the stars and the red, white, and blue. We'll carry Charlie's flame. Let the flag still wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Through sorrow and trial, our voices ring true. And after the bars, we are Charlie, blazing red, white, and blue.